You big dummy.
I woke up feeling dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Last week of the season. I don't even know what number show this is, but I appreciate every single one of you who's been here since episode 1, episode 11. You get the point. This is Everything Browns Nation here on a Sunday morning. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. You know it's a special show because we are on time. We're not playing today. It's the last weekend of Cleveland Browns football. Let me know how you're feeling this morning. This is a Fan Chat Nation production. I'm Corey Boyd. Producer G on the boards. You heard Kawhi Leonard. You heard Baker Mayfield. It's going to be a fun Sunday. Let me know right now, who do you hate more? The Pittsburgh Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens? Who do you hate more? Because this is what it's about. Both teams' fates are in our hands today. Who do you hate more? Pittsburgh or Baltimore? Let me know in the comment section. When you wake up, who do you hate? Who makes your blood boil? Who do you hate more? Baltimore or Cleveland? Let me know. It's going to be a fun Sunday afternoon. Football's here. 4:25 kickoff. Prime time. CBS. They moved us to prime time because Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns are hot and we're cooking. Let's go. George says, what's cracking, my friend? What's up, George? Laura BP says, good morning. Good morning, Laura. Chris says, what's up, Corey Boyd? Undefeated against teams with animal mascots. Let's keep that streak today. Clyde says, what's going on, fellas? Natasha says, woof, woof. She's feeling dangerous. Josh loves the show. Thank you, Josh Corden. And Everything Patreon member Josh Corden. Shout out to Josh. We appreciate you. We're trying to do big things over here. So Everything Patreon / Everything Browns Nation. If you can go over there as well. We appreciate all the help we could get. Natasha says Ravens. Ben says Steelers. George says Steelers. Glenn says Pittsburgh. Marty says Ravens. Corey says both. Leonard says easily as Steelers. Dave says let's go Brownies. I'm headed to the game from Cleveland. Gary says Steelers. Chris says Ravens because F. Art Modell. Steve says Josh Corden. Ian says Baker got fined for nothing. Corey says let's go. Woof, woof. Clyde says Steelers 1, Ravens 1A. What up, Corey Go Brown says Staley. I did it again, didn't I? Staley, what up? My bad. Gary says stomp the Ratbirds, keep them out of the playoffs. And Eddie says, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I'm going to get it out of the way right now. Happy holidays. All that great stuff in this great season is Cleveland Browns football. I am pumped up today. I know we can't go to the playoffs. All the haters will say, well, you didn't make it to the playoffs, yada, yada, yada. Who cares? We have the fate of Pittsburgh in our hands and the Ravens in our hands. Now, the Ravens can do something about it, but Pittsburgh has no chance. So the question, earlier in the week was, should the Browns lose so Pittsburgh can't get in? Should they just lose the game? Should they throw it? Should they rest Baker, rest Landry, rest Chubb, heal up for next season, make that run? Should they just pack it in, say, Pittsburgh, you know what? We hate your guts. You're not going to the playoffs. Ha! No, Browns aren't doing that.
Dangerous.
Not with Baker Mayfield. The Browns aren't doing that. They are taking this like a playoff game themselves. Quote Baker Mayfield, absolutely, this is a playoff atmosphere game that our guys have seen. The first playoff atmosphere game. Denver was great, a primetime game, but this is a big one. They are playing for a playoff spot, and we are playing to prove who we are. As I said last week, we have to win these games. Right now, we are focused on the Ravens. It will be a great atmosphere. That's what you want to hear from your franchise quarterback. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was a little torn last Sunday because I hate Pittsburgh. I don't want to see them in the playoffs having a chance to succeed in the playoffs. I don't. Now that we're competitive, my hatred is starting to ramp up again because we are good again. Wake up, NFL. Here we come. When we were 1-15, 0-16, my hatred wasn't even there. Why? Because we're not even good. Why hate? I don't care. We can't make a difference in anything. But now that we are good, my hatred is up to that boiling level. And I'm not going to lie. I am honest with everyone. I thought about, maybe we shouldn't just not make sure Pittsburgh doesn't get in. But then I woke up Monday and Tuesday, and I know how I get when the Browns play. No, I want to win. Forget it. Hopefully the Bengals just can show up and resemble something of a football team on Sunday and do their job. The Browns win, and boom, everything is great. Ben Stewart says, go Cincinnati. Natasha says, don't lose. Go out with a bang. Matt says, Steelers for me, but I get why people would say Ravens. Glenn says, absolutely not. We worked too hard for this season. Ryan said, no. This is a new winning culture. And Gary says, gotta hate the Ratbirds more. They stole our team. Clint says, in the perfect world, Cincinnati beats Pittsburgh and the Browns win. That's what I'm talking about. In a perfect world, we all get what we want. We win. The Bengals win. And that's it. That's the perfect Sunday. And that's what I am rooting for. But we get to go into the Ravens. And let me tell you something. Those Baltimore Ravens are no joke. This will be a tough ball game. And we will break down that game a little bit later. So make sure you get your predictions, your big dog of the game in the comment section, your score, who's going to win and why. Get them in the comment section all game long. And who do you hate more, Baltimore or Pittsburgh? Let me know, who do you hate more? This is the final week of Cleveland Browns football. Let's get it cracking. Let's show that Browns Nation is alive and well. If you've been down 1-15, 0-16, when we've had quarterback after quarterback, coach after coach, from Romeo Cannell, Mike Patine, you name a coach, we had it. We are here. Let's show the world. Let's get it cracking. Brad says the spread is Cleveland +7. Chris says, Lord Baker, your majesty. And Gary says, does Baker break the rookie TD record today? Man, if you put me on a truth serum, I'd say no. Not with that Ravens defense. If you put me on truth serum at Baltimore, that's going to be a tough one to break it. He ties it with 2, breaks it with 3. That means 3 touchdowns at Baltimore. You seen what they did to Phillip Rivers at Los Angeles. That's going to be a tough one to throw 3 touchdowns at Baltimore to break the record. Don't get me wrong. I hope he does. But if you made me put truth serum, I'm not going to lie to you right now and just say, of course he's going to break it. I don't think he will. This is going to be a grinded out game because Baltimore's defense and their playoff lives are on the line. And you know they don't want records broken on their watch. They are aware of what is at stake for Baker and their season. So I'd have to say no for Baker Mayfield breaking the record at Baltimore. To break it is 3 touchdowns. To tie it is 2. That's going to be a tough road at Baltimore. And speaking of Baker Mayfield, he had what you would say, I wouldn't say it a rough week. I'd say it a Baker week. Baker Mayfield, you know, you get what you get, and people need to understand this by now. And I'm tired of talking about it, but I have to. He stared down Hugh Jackson. First he said, I don't know what you're talking about. But the video came out and he said, look, football is competitive. Why are you guys whining about it? I'm paraphrasing of what he said. And once again, the media gets in a tizzy and he needs to let this Hugh thing go. Let it go. I mean, why do you still have a grudge on Hugh Jackson? Will you let it go? And then they fine him $10,026 for a gesture that he did towards his offensive coordinator. Excuse me. Hold on. Wait a second. So wait. Okay. It wasn't against the opponent. No. Oh, okay. It wasn't against the opposing team's coach. No. Oh, okay. You mean to tell me you fined him $10,000 for doing a gesture to his offensive coordinator, which was an inside joke? Oh, okay. That's what $10,000 was worth. Oh, you come on. Baker's going to be Baker, and this is getting absolutely ridiculous. Why? Well, he's a quarterback. You're not supposed to act that way as a quarterback. Quarterbacks do this, and this. Oh, shut up. It's getting on my last nerve. If this is what he has to do to compete and get us wins, stop whining and complaining about it. This is who he is. Well, the opponents are going to come after him. He knows this. He's a baller. This is what he does. He did it in Oklahoma. He's doing it now. He's not going to change. Stop whining, crying, and complaining, media. I'm tired and sick of it. This is what he does, okay? Hugh Jackson, why are they beefing? I don't know, okay? I wasn't inside the locker room, but I'll tell you this. If you don't give Baker Mayfield a chance to compete in training camp, that could be one reason. This man wants to win. Every time he plays you, he wants to win. That is the bottom line. I am tired of the whining and complaining about Baker Mayfield. Let him be him. The team is behind him. His coaches is behind him. He is leading this team to victories. Stop it. Stop complaining and crying, media. Oh, my God, how could he do this? Russell Wilson wouldn't do this. Tom Brady goes crazy. at his coaches on the sideline when he don't like the way things are going. He headbutts his freaking teammates, okay? But that's Tom's passion. He is so great. I don't want to hear none of that mess. This is the way he leads, and his team is behind him. Did you see that late hit that he got? And every person on the field ran after the defender when they hit their quarterback. That's what you want, and that's what we need here in Cleveland. He was the first pick for a reason. I know it's his first year. He'll have his ups. He'll have his downs. But his attitude is what this organization needed. And like I said last week, I ain't arguing with Dorsey no more. He knew what he was doing. What up, G?
I just want to jump in here and thank everybody who's been commenting with us. I see a few interesting comments. Brian Kramer says, what up, Dave Chappelle? Appreciate everybody. I just want to let you know if you're watching on Fan Chat Nation, you can come over to the Everything Browns Nation Facebook page. That's where we're looking at the comments. And you guys over on YouTube as well, I'm going to come over and check you out. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, and we'll be here all off-season as well doing these live streams, talking Browns football. We're going to be moving to Saturdays at 12. Is that right?
Yep, 12 to 1.
So make sure you guys check back in, like, share, subscribe to us on YouTube, like the page. Make sure you turn on the notifications because we'll be here all year. So appreciate everybody leaving us comments right now.
Oh, man. Yes, 12 to 1 on Saturdays. We'll be moving. Thank you for that. I forgot to let that know. I had to get that off my chest. It just gets on my nerves. Why do we have to change quarterbacks? Well, quarterbacks aren't supposed to act like that. I'm glad Cleveland is not coming out and, oh, my goodness, we'll talk. No, let Baker be Baker. Johnny says, what's up, Corey? Feeling dangerous. Clint says, Mayfield's swagger is, as Jarvis would say, it's contagious. That's right. It's contagious. And the team is behind Baker Mayfield. Eddie said something happened in that locker room. It's totally different team since Hugh Jackson got fired. Mike says they made Cam tone it down, so why not Baker? That's Carolina's fault. Let Cam be Cam. That is Carolina. Let Cam be Cam. I would say the same exact thing. If he wants to Superman all over down the field, dab all over everybody, do it. Be you. Listen. Everybody's not going to be Peyton Manning, Joe Montana. Plug in a quarterback. Let them be them. Cam, Baker, any quarterback with swag, let them be them. If Cam's going to dab all over you, stop him. Don't change who you are. Stop him. If you're sick of Baker, stop him. Knock him on his butt. That's what teams want to do. He's going to do what he's going to do. Joseph says, good morning, Browns Nation. Johnny says, why does Baker have to tone it down? We're winning. He doesn't have to tone it down. He doesn't tone down anything. Not one thing. Be Baker Mayfield. Let the media cry about it. Let Colin Cowherd get his panties in a bunch and make every excuse he wants after we win. I would want to take a grown-up like Sam Darnold. That's who I would pick. You don't see Sam Darnold doing that. I don't care. Let the man be him. Hey, and if defenders want to come at him, he'll have to live with the consequences. But I'm sure he will be okay. He's a grown man. Let that man live. Let him do him. And every other player in the NFL, let them be who they want to be. And they'll have to live with the consequences. But if that's what they have to be to win and lead their team, I don't want to hear it. I'm tired of it. After every freaking week, people in the media complaining about Baker either going at Hugh or a gesture on the sideline towards his coach. Are you kidding me? 10,000 or a gesture against his own coach. His coach, not the opponent's coach, not the fans. His coach. Okay. But it is what it is. I'm loving it because we are back in the news. We're getting new haters. I'm not used to this, though. I'm not. When it comes to football, I'm not used to this. On the NFL side of it. I'm just not. Brian says, should we take an L today and go so Steelers won't get into the playoffs? No, I'm not with that, Brian. At the beginning, I thought about it. I'm not going to lie. I thought about it last week, the hatred, but here's what it is. The Browns are not built that way anymore. They want to win and let whatever plays out, play out. That's all to it. Just win the game and let the chips fall. Let the chips fall where they fall. Hopefully Cincinnati can play a little football today. That's what I'm rooting for. Come on, Bengals. Do your thing. I doubt they win. But hey, you can always hope. Chanel says, I love watching the game, waiting to catch Baker doing something funny, LOL. Johnny says, it's a tough sport. I don't want a guy that nice. We need some nasty players, and we had that. Hugh sucked and basically said we weren't good enough. That's why Baker hates Hugh. Aaron says, proud to be a Browns fan. Chanel says, win, win, win. Clint says, Dorsey isn't going to tell Baker to tone it down. We needed an attitude change in our locker room on the field. This team's been soft since coming back. We need confidence, swagger, and haters. Love this team's direction. Let's go. Hey, I'm with it. Now, I know I've rambled on about Baker Mayfield, and I probably could do it for an hour, but we did win last week as well. I haven't forgot it. What did you think about the victory against those Cincinnati Bengals last week? And who was your player of the game? Last week against those Bengals, another W in the column. The end got a little bit tighter than what it should have been to me. But that's when you're a young team, you learn to win. A win is a win. I never felt in doubt. I knew we were going to win the game. It should have been more of a blowout than what it was, but we won. Who was your player of the game? Was it Baker? Was it Nick Chubb? Was it Hollywood Higgins? 6 receptions, 60 yards, 1 touchdown? Or was it somebody else? Who was your player of the game? Who stood out to you when watching the Browns beat down those Bengals? Who do you thought, you know what? That's my guy this week. That's the reason they won the ball game against the Bengals. Who was your player of the game against the Bengals? Or was it Jarvis Landry? His quarterbacking skills, 1 for 1. I forget how long the throw was. It was in the 60-yard area. I mean, it was a dime. He dropped it right into Perriman's bucket. Was it Jarvis Landry? Who was your player of the game against the Bengals? Mine's going to have to be Baker Mayfield. I mean, 284 yards, 3 touchdowns, 27 for 37. The man balled out last week. He balled out. I thought Nick Chubb was going to have most of the touchdowns last week, but it ended up being Baker Mayfield. He played almost flawlessly last week. The big throw to Njoku, they put it in his hands to win the game. He did it when it counted. That's when he strutted at the end when everybody was crying on Hugh Jackson. I have to give it to Baker. My goodness. What a game he had. Nick Chubb had a game too. 19 for 112. You can't ask more for that. 19 carries, 112. Just didn't get in the end zone. But I have to give mine to Baker Mayfield. Jarvis Landry had a heck of a throw. But I had to give mine to Baker Mayfield. That's my player of the game. Glenn says Chubb always works. Chubb always works it. Steven said it was 63 yards. Thank you, Steven. I knew it was in the 60 area. Clint Cole says Baker did win Offense Player of the Week. So, yes, he did. Mike says it was the Bengals, not impressive. I give the offense, everyone had contributed. It's the win. Hey, You play who you play against. And it's a rival. The Bengals wanted to win. They didn't want to get swept. You know Marvin and Hugh didn't want to get swept by the Browns. They wanted to come in to the Browns stadium and get revenge. Now I know Andy Dalton's out and Green's out and Tyler Boyd is out. We have everybody hurt. We weren't supposed to win. I don't want to hear none of that now. No excuses anymore. None. Take the L with you. Night. Take that L. I know the Bengals aren't world beaters, but I'm rooting for them today. I'm rooting for them. Come on, Bengals. Do what you got to do. Are they going to win today? No, they're not. But in the perfect world, we win, they win. Are we going to win? I don't know. Baltimore's tough. We will see. Kenneth says, are they re-signing Perriman? I hope they do. This guy has came on the scene. He doesn't have big numbers that jump out at you, but he makes big plays when they're needed. Clutch catches. I mean, he's been everything and more. I didn't expect him to do anything when we signed him. I just said, well, it's a body. Okay. I hope they do re-sign Perriman. Mike says we almost let him back in the game. We did. That let back in the game, I wasn't concerned. I knew we were going to win, but they're young. They're learning to win. They should have blown them out. I am with you. It shouldn't have been 26-18. It should have been way more than that. But they're learning to win. You're not going to be able to pull that off in Baltimore. I'll tell you that much. I'm with Mike on that. You do that to Baltimore. It's going to be a whole different ball game. Joseph said, gotta love getting the W. I love winning. This winning stuff is still kind of new. You know, like, I'm like, man, this is great. So this is how it feels to win on Sundays. I mean, I just be chipper. What's going on here? I mean, it's great. Joe says, here we go, Brownies from Tampa, Florida. Die-hard Browns fan here. Woof, woof, woof. And Mike says, Perriman and Higgins deserve an extension. Preach. Let's go. And let me know where you're making a comment from. When you comment, what part of the world are you at? Let me know. Because we take on the Ravens tonight at 4:25. That's really afternoon, evening. Pushed it back. Lamar Jackson versus Baker Mayfield. And who do you hate more? Get it in the comment section. Browns? You don't hate the Browns. You better not. Who do you hate more? Steelers or Ravens? I seen the Ravens. It used to be the Browns. It was all bad. They're like, we don't hate the Browns. What's wrong with you? You are trash. Who do you hate more? Ravens or the Steelers? I'm just looking at Baltimore. It used to be us. The Ravens or the Steelers? You better not hate the Browns. The Ravens or the Steelers? Who do you hate more? Let me know in the comment section. Who do you hate more? The Steelers or the Ravens? Who would you rather not see in the playoffs? One of them are going, because I doubt Cincinnati beats Pittsburgh. And still, one of them are going anyway, so. Who's it going to be? Who do you hate more? Who? Who is it? Who can you stomach being in the playoffs? Steelers or Ravens? Who do you hate more? Mike says Pittsburgh. Mike Young. Is that Mike Junk? I don't want to mess up his last name. He says both. And he says, and the Broncos. Aaron says the Steelers. Joseph says he's in Akron, Ohio. Let's get the W today for my mom's birthday. Happy birthday to your mother, Joseph. Happy birthday to your mom. And Eddie says, I'm sorry, I have to go with the Ravens 16-10. And Chubb is his big dog. 18 carries, 87 yards, and 1 touchdown. Joe says Steelers. We are born to hate them. Chanel says Steelers. Boo. Derek says Steelers. Bo says I hate the Ravens because they took our Browns years ago. Glenn says, down here in Dayton, Ohio, representing my Cleveland Browns for life. Let's do this today. Baker and Chubb get it done. John says Steelers are the worst. Steven says Steelers. Rick says he's from Middletown, Ohio, and says Pittsburgh. Kobe says hate the Steelers with the passion, but not enough to lose today. Josh Corden says even the city of Pittsburgh is a total armpit, gross place. Fans are horrible and rude. Clint says hate the Steelers. Joseph says both. Can I get that chant, G? Because there's a lot of Steelers going. Pittsburgh is winning by a landslide here in the comment section, but they're saying we still need to win this game. No losing. Let's get that 8-7-1 record. Glenn says, can I just say I hate them both? You sure can. If it's 50-50, you can't pick one. You go ahead. You go ahead. Both. I mean, I can't wait for this game because this is going to be a tough one. These Ravens aren't playing, man. I don't know if people understand how good this team is. I hope people understand how good this Ravens team is. It's not a joke. Speaking of not a joke, are you guys concerned about Denzel Ward at all? Second concussion within a month. He will not play today. He's out, so that means season's over for him. His first concussion was against Houston in week 13. That's 2 concussions within a month. That's not good. Are you a little concerned about Denzel Ward and this concussion issue and his tackling, which Greg Williams brought up in preseason, if you forgot, and it's starting to turn its ugly head? 2 concussions, and last week it looked bad. He went to hit the man and just fell. He just fell. I knew it was a concussion. I'm like, man, because he's playing so well his rookie year. 2 concussions in 1 year is not good. It could be a lingering problem. It has me worried, because that's a cornerstone position for your defense, for your franchise. You don't want a concussion problem to linger for your career. 2 in a month, that is not good. His final stats for this year is 53 tackles, 41 solo, 3 interceptions, a field goal block in 13 games. That is not good for us. If this problem persists with Denzel Ward, I hope he gets this under control. Listen to Greg Williams. This ain't college no more. This is some big boys. He just ran right over him, kept on trucking. I think it was the tight end for Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. But it has me a little worried. He has all offseason to recover. I understand. But 2 in 1 year, I mean, you know how the NFL is with these concussions. You look just a little bit. Come here. Have a seat next to me. So it has me a little worried because he was playing so great for us. And now we have to, TJ Carey has to step in, has to step up. But next year, I hope he gets this under control and can stay healthy. He took himself out probably winning defense of the rookie of the year. So I just hope he can step up, stay healthy next year, because this is a cornerstone of our franchise on the defensive end of the ball, especially at the cornerback position. So I hope he gets it together. Bo says, no, not right now. He's not worried. You have the offseason to recover. Next year, if he gets another concussion, that's time to worry. Mike said, kid's a beast. He has to learn to tackle low or his career will be over in 2 years. Mike said, not concerned. He'll come back bigger and stronger next year. Amy says, yes, incredibly talented, but he needs to learn how to tackle. Joe says, shout out to his dad for his 71st birthday. Browns win today 31-23. Shout out to your dad, Joe. Happy 71st birthday. Shout out to your dad. Glenn says Ward will get it together. Rick says, don't care that either Ravens or Steelers get in. I can root against them next week. Just win the game today. Big dog. Josh Corden. Shout out to Josh Corden. He says, for everyone loves this show, consider donating to the Patreon. We need more shows like this. Go Browns. I appreciate that, Josh Corden. Patreon member. We're just trying to give you the best content that we can. Everything.com/Everything Browns Nation. If you can go over there, give us a little help, we would appreciate that. And Clyde says Ward needs to change his tackling style or we will keep having this same problem. Cody says, should we draft another top corner just in case? You can draft a corner. I wouldn't draft it early rounds. You can do an insurance corner, but I wouldn't draft it with our early picks. And oh my goodness, we will not be drafting probably in the first hour. I won't know what to do with myself. But I wouldn't draft it with our early picks, maybe later. Veronica Neal says Baltimore. And Mike says go Browns. Proud of this young team. Baltimore, Browns, 425. Who do you hate more? Baltimore or Pittsburgh? One of those are going to get in. Who would you rather see lose in the playoffs? Basically is the question, because one of them are going to get in. One of them are going to be left off. Josh said the show is top quality. Your followers need to keep it going for you. I love to call in sometimes. We're going to get these phone calls back up when we can. Love to have you on, Josh. Appreciate the support.
I mean, you could call in now if you want.
You can call in now if you want. The producer says you can call in now.
You remember the phone number?
1-866-217-1966. Like clockwork.
Maybe I put it on the screen.
1-866-217-1966. Josh, if you want to call, give in a call. Patreon member Josh Corden, 1-866-217-1966. If you want to talk some Browns football. Back to Baker Mayfield, just for a quick second. You know, the franchise quarterback has been playing out of his mind the last 6 games. His passer rating is 115.2, an 83% winning percentage, 5-1. His only loss coming to the Texans. 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 73.6 completions the last 6 games. That is phenomenal. What do you contribute to Baker playing so well? Why is he playing so well? Is it the coaches? Is it just Baker being Baker, getting more established in the league? Why is he playing so well? What do you think the biggest factor in Baker Mayfield playing so well over these last 6 games? Josh said if the cable guy wasn't about to show up to run some cable, I'd call maybe next Saturday. Why is Baker playing so well? What do you think it is? Rob says pass protection schemes and Nick Chubb. Ben says it's the fans. Mike says his red zone TD rate is off the charts too. Why do you think he's playing so well? The fans. I like that one. It could be us. Maybe we should take all the credit. And Patrick Mahomes, now I know it's a 6-game sample, and Patrick Mahomes has been playing all year, but his rating is 114 with a 73 winning percentage. Now, I'm not saying that he's Patrick Mahomes. I'm just throwing the numbers out there. Just saying. So I'm just putting the numbers into perspective of what's going on with Baker Mayfield. I would say the offensive line has a big deal with Baker Mayfield and what he has been able to do since he has been the starting quarterback. The offensive line, I don't know if has got a lot of credit or not, but they have kept him upright since he's been the quarterback. Unbelievable. They have 5 offensive linemen that the NFL has allowed 2 or fewer pressures in 15 games this season. Only 5 offensive linemen has done that. And guess what? 3 are on the Browns. Joe Patino, J.C. Treader, and Kevin Zettler. The Browns have the 3rd-ranked passing blocking unit, and it's due to those 3 individuals. They're keeping him upright. Without an offensive line, you are absolutely nothing. We can love Baker. We can love the coaches. But that offensive line, part of it's Baker getting the ball out quicker. I will give you that. But the offensive line is keeping this man upright and on his feet. The offensive line needs a lot of credit of why Baker Mayfield has been balling the way he is balling. I mean, come on. We got to give these guys some credit. Because when the quarterback's running crazy, what do? The line is trash. They suck. I hate the offensive line. They're terrible. Oh, my goodness. We have no line. Our quarterback's going to get hurt. Oh, my goodness. When they played the Texans, I don't even think they recorded a sack, if I remember right. He just threw some picks. I don't think they recorded a sack. This line has kept this man upright. They deserve a lot of credit. Clint says Freddie is allowing him to throw some passes that Hugh and Haley wouldn't, but the O-line has been a huge part. Josh says Baker has always been the underdog his entire career, college included. He plays better under scrutiny and diversity. Scott says O-line's been solid. And Josh has called me crazy, but I remember another young QB that used to sling the ball the same way, and he got crucified in the media for it. His name is Brett Favre. Look what he became. And Gus says absolutely O-line deserves their due. And Eddie says Baker is a winner, and he will not quit until he takes Cleveland to the next level. And Glenn says he's surrounded by a lot of talent, and his leadership is contagious. When a team has respect for their leader, they will be successful. They have one hell of a front line. Big key is that offense of line. His deep passing is 9th in the league. His rating is 84.1. When you throw deep, you need time. Hashtag offensive line. That even rhymed. My goodness. Matt says he's playing so good because he's chasing that TD record. He needs 3, 2 to tie. It's going to be a tough task against this Baltimore defense, who is number 1 in the league. Number 1 in the league in points allowed per game with 17.5 per game. And yards allowed at 284. And their season is on the line. This is going to be a tough one. Mike says, a part of me believes the Browns are being put into a similar situation that the Buccaneers were a few years ago after Lovey was fired and Dirk Cutter was named their head coach due to the relationship with Jameis Winston. I like Williams, but not sure if he is the guy. Freddie should be the next head coach in his opinion. They're going to have a tough decision to make. Will they keep Greg Williams? We'll see. Mike says this team seems tight. They want to win for each other. And Kevin says Baker has the it factor. Who wins and why? 425, Browns versus Ravens. Do Ravens get in the playoffs? Do Pittsburgh get into the playoffs? And who do you hate more? Ravens or Steelers? Let me know. And I take a quick drink of water because I had to. It was just getting ridiculous. Let me know who you hate more, Pittsburgh or Baltimore. Who makes you sick to your stomach? Oh, man, Steven's going to the kicker again. He says Joseph will win it 23-20. That makes me nervous. He still makes me nervous. Every time he steps up, everything he does, I'm like, oh, Lord, help me. Clyde says Ravens 13-10. Glenn said, I don't think they need to change anything. Coaches and players are doing their thing. Yes, they are. But I did read something that was kind of interesting about the coaching position. On Bleacher Report, Paul, I'm not even going to say his last name. Paul, it's his first name. He said he doesn't think Greg Williams is the front runner. The Browns will have an open search for coach, but Greg Williams will get a look. Paul Casabon, I don't know. I'm just going to give him credit. I will say his last name, noting that Dorsey will have an open look in a 60-year-old Williams, who was the ex-head coach of the Buffalo Bills that was 17-31 in 3 seasons, and also a coach with the Saints in 2009. And we all know the bounty hunt and all that great stuff. He says he is not a front runner, but we all know about rumors. That's just one report out there. It's going to be very interesting what Dorsey does. But like I said last week, and if you were tuned in, I'm done. I am not debating anything that Dorsey does anymore. Whatever he says goes, at least with me. Y'all can debate it, and I'll read the comments, and I'll go off what you guys say. But the day of me debating after Josh Gordon, I'm done. I'm done looking stupid because I'm done. Whatever Dorsey decides to do, go ahead, man. Do your thing. Do your thing. If you let go of everybody, hey, you know something I don't know. Go ahead. Nathan says 30-21 Baltimore. I think Baker gets the record, but we come up a little short. Josh says now that Art Modell is dead and in the ground, I don't hate Baltimore as much. Woo. Alan says always Steelers. That's who I hate more. Mike says trust in Dorsey. That's right, Mike. If you didn't watch last week, I'm done. No more. I will not question anything that man says. Anything. If you want to wear flip-flops and it's 2 degrees outside, hey, man, you know something I don't know. Do your thing, homie. Not questioning it. I'm not. Josh says Freddie as the OC, Williams as the DC, and what could happen if they persuade Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma to come coach Baker again? That would be interesting. And Zach says leave the team as is. This game will be close. Browns 27-20. Steelers mostly, but any team in the Browns' way. Mike laughs. I'm done. Listen, I'm not. No. because I ranted and raved about getting a 5th round pick to me, which equaled a box of Skittles for Josh Gordon, because I thought Tom Brady at his advanced age just got a weapon. We got a box of M&Ms or Skittles. Really? And now look, no more. No more. I don't care. I am done. Do your thing, Dorsey. Do your thing. I will no longer ever again question anything you do, even if I think it's questionable. And Colts fan Eddie wanted to let me know that Mariota is out for the Colts today. So that means his team is in or out. Josh said, is there any college coaches that we think will fit the Browns roster? Man, I like young coaches. I was going to say Oklahoma's coach, but then I watched that defense yesterday, and I'm like, I don't know about that. That defense is absolutely terrible. And our defensive coach is pretty darn good, so I'm good on that right now. Mike says, I was pissed at it too, but I won't doubt Dorsey again. I'm done, man. And Steven says, I like Skittles. I do too, but not when my player gets traded for them. But like I said, I'm good. And George says, Skittles come in a bag. Hey, I'm done. But this is going to be an interesting game. Let me know who you think is going to win and why, and who is your big dog of the game. Looking at the injury report, the only player that is out is Ward. Last time I seen, Treader is questionable. He was limited in practice this week. It looks like everybody else is a go. Baltimore, John Brown is questionable. Suggs is questionable, but I believe they are going to play. They have playoffs in mind, on the line. If you ain't injured, you're in. If you're hurt, you are playing. If you're the Baltimore Ravens, you have to play this game. You have to win this game, and you do not want to be swept by the Cleveland Browns. You don't want to do it. The Bengals got swept. You don't want to get swept. And that's how they're looking at this ball game. And I told you about the Ravens defense. Tops in the league. This is a test. A tough one at that. They're 5-1 with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Their only loss coming at Kansas City, and that game was a barn burner at that. They went to San Diego last week on Saturday night and absolutely shut them down. I mean, shut them down, made Phillip Rivers look completely useless. 181 yards, 2 interceptions for Phillip Rivers, 23 for 37 at Phillip Rivers at Los Angeles. People thought, well, now Baltimore's got a test here. Phillip Rivers had a chance to put the pressure on Kansas City on their throat. They beat Kansas City. You're at home against Baltimore. Baltimore was having nothing of it. And I believe the score was 22-10 at Baltimore. That's crazy. Now we have to go to Baltimore. So this will be our toughest game since Houston. Houston was a tough game. Our defense didn't do too bad. They gave up yards, but it was the turnovers that killed us in that Houston game. 3 interceptions by Baker in the first half. Callaway fumbled after a deep bomb from Baker that stopped another touchdown. Those are the things that can't happen if we want to beat this Baltimore team. It cannot happen. Josh says, I'm not convinced our run defense will be able to perform at the level necessary to stop Lamar. Mike said Schobert is going to shadow Lamar and hopefully limit his running. And that would be great because I'm not afraid of him throwing the ball. And Zach says Nick Chubb and Baker get their records with the Ravens being less than 100%, while it will be close 27 to 70. I think it's a typo. Steven says need Lamar Jackson out of the end zone. Glenn says we need to shut Jackson down today with the run. And Clint Cole says our tight ends going to be the big dog. And Zach says 27-20. Okay. I knew the 70 was a typo. I just wasn't sure what the score was. Those are some good points. Thank you for those. Those are good points about this ball game. I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. I don't know about this game, but I'm going to give you my prediction and big dog. Clint says my bold prediction, Browns defense get 4 interceptions and Peppers eats today. Myles Garrett, before I give you my prediction and my big dog, he has a chance to get the team sack record, but he wants to win more. He has 12.5 sacks, putting him in reach of Reggie Camp's single season mark of 14 in 1984. The second-year player, though, he says his chances of getting 2 sacks on Lamar won't be easy. He said the Browns defense is concerned about stopping the run. So he's going to have a tough time getting the Browns sack record today against Lamar Jackson. He's slippery. He can run. I don't think he'll get it either. That's just being honest. Lamar Jackson, sack record. I don't see it happening today. I could be wrong, but I don't see Myles Garrett getting that sack record today. I thought he had to get it last week, but man, Jeff Driscoll, he was slipping out of sacks too. I mean, he was running like he was freaking Lamar Jackson last week. I said, where'd this come from? I didn't see that happening, so I don't see him catching the sack record today, especially against Lamar Jackson. They love to run the ball. They will keep his passing attempts limited at best. You have to get them in 3rd and long situations to make them pass the ball. That's going to be tough. So time for my bold prediction, big dog, and winner of the game. Well, bold prediction is Lamar Jackson throws 25 passes. That's bold because I don't think he's going to throw it that much today. 25 for Lamar in the passing attempts. That's a bold prediction for the other team. 25 passing attempts for Lamar Jackson. My big dog is going to have to be Baker Mayfield. For us to win this game, Baker Mayfield has to be special. Because, hey, we know the defense has to show up. We know the defense has to stop Lamar Jackson in this running game, which is a tough task because our running defense, over the past couple games, it's been good, but this is a whole nother beast, a whole nother running team. This is going to be a hard one for our defense. So we all know they have to do that. It's going to be on Baker in this offense. Phillip Rivers didn't throw a touchdown pass at home. Let that sink in. At home, Phillip Rivers threw up a goose egg. Baker Mayfield is my big dog. He has to be huge. I'm going to just throw it out there. It's the last show of the week. I don't care about being right when it comes to my big dog here. I'm going 3 touchdowns. Go for the record, Baker. Why not? 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 22 for 31. Just go for the record. Big dog, 21 for the Browns. But who is my winner going to be is the question. And I like to keep it real with you guys. No matter what, right or wrong, good or bad, love or hate me, I have thick skin. I can take it. I seen some Browns. I seen some Ravens in the comment. I'm going to keep it real. even though the Browns want to win this game, it's like a playoff game for Cleveland coming off a 2-game winning streak. Here goes nothing. I don't see Cleveland winning this ball game. At Baltimore, their defense, Baltimore needs this game more than Cleveland. Simple as that. Simple as that. If Cleveland loses this game, we'll all be upset. We'll all be mad. But we all know the future is bright. Yes, I want to win. And I will talk trash if we do. And if I'm wrong, who cares? I don't care. But I think Baltimore is going to win this game. They have more to play for. The Lamar Jackson effect, the read option, his running ability. You know I hate mobile quarterbacks. Will give this defense fits, I believe. And Baltimore will win 27-21. Hitch their wagon to the playoffs. Will fall short of the victory. I hope I'm wrong. But I just think Baltimore has just a little bit more to play for than we do. The spoiler role is nice, but your playoff lives are a little bit more important. And I think Baltimore is not going to let Cincinnati dictate them going to the playoffs. All right, here we go. Mike says it's going to be a tight game. Whoever wins, it will be less than 3. Eric said, what happened last year when the Ravens needed the last game? I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. I'm just telling you what I think. I will see you guys next week, Saturday, 12 to 1 o'clock. Everything Browns Nation, the off season. Have fun watching this game, ladies and gentlemen. That's Producer G. I'm Corey Boyd. Next week, 12 o'clock, Saturday. I'll see y'all. Yeah.